This conference will now be recorded.
The Sage Grove Town Board will hold a public meeting beginning at 7 p.m. on Monday, October 7th, 2024, at Town Hall at 4058 County Road N, Sage Grove. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll stand for the flag pledge.
Wow. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are all creatures of habit. Is everybody?
Should be over there.
Dan and I talked about it too.
Should be over there.
Wow.
You have the minutes of the September 16th meeting in your packet.
Move approval as presented. Well done.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the minutes for September 16th as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is finance report and approval of bills.
Well, the meeting's 3 weeks apart. There were a couple of bills that we had to pay to stay current with them, so those were last week.
Is that oil just a yearly purchase?
Yeah, the drum was empty, so yeah, when it's empty, we replace it. Yeah, it's usually about every year.
I move approval of paying checks 37,384 through 37,430 and make an EFT payment of $34,350.96.
There's a motion by Duplay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to approve checks 37,384 through 37,430 in the EFT payment of $34,350.96. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. You have your credit card charges. Do you have yours?
Anything on that?
Well, no, the very first one for 2 replacement chutes for the right mower, you have it listed as high-tech heating and AC.
Oh, no,
That should
that's
be under mine.
that's under Dan's. That's to who?
It's us, that's equipment.
But we didn't, high tech, they must have the wrong vendor in there. Who did you buy?
Oh,
those from?
Hates, mobile maintenance.
Hates.
Or no, wait a minute, that would be, no, that's Power Shoot. That's just Power Shoot.
Oh, well, he wasn't.
For the right mowers,
Yep. It's just Power Shoot.
yeah.
That's to replace the chutes that were on there. Move to the little more high-tech ones. Should have been just a Power Shoot. Should be an invoice there.
Yeah, Power Shoot Design.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that, I didn't enter that way, but
Okay. Then you also your unaudited cash and investment balance of $2,408,948.60. You have the September per diems.
Move approval.
Motion by Williams, second by Anders to approve the September per diems as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Then you have September building permit.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Duplay to approve the building permits for September as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Anything else? Okay. Next item is public concerns. Public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Anyone online? No? We'll move to Plan Commission recommendations. First one, Dennis Richardson, representing RG Houston Incorporated, petitioner Scour Pit LLC, property owner of parcel 0711-283-9800-6 at 3355 County Road N, petition to rezone 14.51 acres from HC and 31.01 acres from RM-16 to MI, manufacturing and industrial, to match existing land use to current zoning district. And the Plan Commission's motion was to recommend approval of the rezone to include only the permitted uses not crossed off on Exhibit A. And let's find what we crossed off.
Oh, no adult bookstores?
Have to build it somewhere else.
No adult entertainment either.
Once we buy that,
Yes, I think
Parcel
that
on the
was
southeast
in the
side.
Packet, because it came afterwards.
we'll set it up at that house.
Otherwise, I can read it, it's on the screen. It was
I don't.
adult bookstores, adult
What is it on?
entertainment overlay district, animal boarding, domestic pets, animal boarding, large animal. Those are the only things crossed off.
And veterinary
Oh, sorry, and
clinics.
veterinary clinics.
And marina.
Those were permitted, we're not allowing them.
Yeah, we'll give you that one. We'll cross that off. Not a good place for a marina.
That includes your composting area?
Yes. So what had happened is when the county looked into it further, the reason, just a quick background, the reason this came up about the zoning was when they did the changes a few years ago, it made what our mineral extraction and our composting not legitimate for the current zoning. So now that the CUPs are coming up for renewal, the county did some research, contacted us, and then they actually suggested two things. And then after further review, MI is the only thing that would fit. So that's why we've got to change the whole thing to MI. That's the only thing that's legit for conditional use for both. Yeah. Currently, our composting won't get bigger with where we process because our DNR permit is for that smaller area, that northern half. So we maintain that drainage from that stuff to the north to that little pond, and then all the mining stuff drains to the big pond. So basically status quo with the two conditional use permits, which we want to renew, and then, but we got to change the zoning for the whole site.
Well, right there, ask this question because, you know, the town is
Next
collecting.
item.
Next item, okay,
Yes.
thank you. Well, I think this makes good sense, and so I would move approval of the same
Plan
motion.
Commission's recommendation.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Fonger to approve the Plan Commission's recommendation to rezone the 2 parcels to MI. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item was to extend the current CUP 2342 for processing or composting of organic byproducts or wastes, which was approved in 2016 and expires February 25th of 2025. And the Plan Commission was motion to recommend approval of extending the CUP for composting of organic byproducts or waste for 10 years. They also went through the 8 standards for conditional use permits and found that they were all met. Do you want me to read those and you approve them?
They're here.
Do we need to, or?
You need to at least confirm that you've
Confirm.
considered them.
Confirm
I've read
them.
them, yeah. I motion that. they be
Confirm
approved.
the standards for conditional
Right.
use permit were met.
Second.
Motion by Fonger, second by Duplay to confirm the conditional use permits standards have been met. Any discussion on that motion?
Any possibility you all would consider accepting yard waste that the town collects up here?
We've got a very well thought through recipe, I guess, on making the compost. Yard waste had come up originally when we first started this, but then there's a lot of chemicals and stuff that get involved with people treating their lawns, and it just adds a whole nother dimension into trying to meet the DNR spec for compost, the S100 spec.
Some of the stuff does not decompose the same rate as what we're used to,
Yeah.
so it's just hard to make
I
the
understand.
product we need, you know.
What do you guys compost down there?
What do we compost?
Yeah.
We've got 2 recipes right now. I tell you, but I have to kill you. Corn stalks and liquid manure. And then we also do like right now we're taking in from the World Dairy Expo with the straw with manure.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah, I wish we could, but you know, there's other people that asked us too. It's just, and that's kind of what shut down the county from doing composting, is because you'd have brush, you'd have grass clippings with all the stuff that's in there, and they were just getting such a mixed bag. They weren't making a product. So
On the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item was to extend the current CUP 2003 for non-metallic mining extraction, which was approved in 2015 and expires February 25th of 2025. The Plan Commission recommend approval of extending the CUP for non-metallic mining extraction for 10 years, noting that standards for approval were considered satisfied.
I would move approval of the Plan Commission's recommendations that the 8 conditions were met.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Williams. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And then I would move that we approve the CUP request for another 10 years to
On the
run.
non-metallic mining.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Duplay to extend the CUP for 10 years.
So you've got a motion about the standards for the compost one, but was that motion also intended to accept the Plans Commission's recommendation to approve that CUP.
That's what you said, that's the first motion.
First motion, all I caught was to confirm that the CUP standards have been met. Okay, so then the second motion,
Was
that,
two separate.
two separate, one for standards and one to extend the CUP. Okay,
For 10 years. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Do we need to, perhaps for consistency purposes, go back and make a second, or does it not make a difference, do you think?
does it make a difference to me?
Okay.
All right, you're the one that's got to wait a minute.
That's why I asked, because I wasn't this part of that other motion or something.
Okay. Next item was Vinnie Acres LLC, the petitioner and property owner, petition to rezone .190 acres from FP1 to RR2 to adjust the lot line between parcel 0711-311-0011-0 and parcel 0711-311-8020-0 at 2876 Seagull Cow Road. Plan Commission. Where did?
It was at the end, remember we.
Their motion was to recommend the rezone of the .190 acres from FP1 to RR2 to adjust the lot line between those two parcels at 2876 Seagull Cow Road.
Move we accept the plan recommendations.
Motion by Duplay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Williams. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next one is discuss and consider approval of decoration covenants and restrictions for Swalheim Business Park. And Chris Nelson is here for your questions. And Dwayne is here.
So I talked to Barrington this morning, got the maps. And they said they contacted their engineer, went through this whole thing, and they have no problems in the engineering on this.
I did get confirmation with Nick this afternoon that he's okay.
Okay. I have one question on, in Article 5.2. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the owner or the owner's representative shall obtain design approval from the town board pursuant to section 12.08. Did we change that so that it was just the plan commission?
Yes, you're right. Design review is just the plan commission.
So it doesn't come to the town board, it should just be plan commission. I thought we had done that.
Right.
And in Article 9.4, where they're talking about termination of the declaration pursuant to section 8.4 shall include a termination of stormwater management, section 3 thereof. Should the town be listed there, that if that termination is made, that they notify us also?
Which one are you talking about?
9.4.
4.
Is that a throwback? Because we don't have a stormwater agreement with them, right?
Yeah, and we would be aware of it anyway, so I don't think we need express notice that like perhaps the county would need in this case. With regard to the stormwater declaration, anyway, because the town's going to be maintaining the stormwater facilities on the property.
Right.
We will be assuming essentially the responsibilities of the developer under the existing stormwater maintenance agreement.
Okay. Those are my two
Is
questions.
that, so do you, so 'cause he has an agreement with the county, which was before when everybody thought that this would be maintained by this association. So now, does that need to be changed, do you think, or are we just, is the town just assuming that?
There'll be one of two things. We'll get in touch with the county
Okay,
and give them the option of either doing a concurrent agreement that will execute with us or just assigning the existing agreement over to the town.
okay, okay.
Is there a preference?
There's no preference. Whatever is acceptable to them and more convenient for everybody. The result will be the same.
Anyone else have any questions that they saw in it?
No.
No problem.
Chris wrote it probably.
Some of it.
Most of it.
Some of it.
Okay.
It's,
A lot of dedicated.
So we would look for a motion to approve the declaration of covenants and restrictions for the Swalheim Business Park.
I so
Maybe
move.
one change from town board to plan commission, right?
With that change.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay. Discussion on the motion for approval with the one change from town board to the plan commission in 5.2. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Then we have consider adoption of resolution 2024-10-7, recommending approval of final plat for the Swalheim Business Park. And the plan commission, they recommended conditional approval of the final plat of Swalheim Business Park as amended that night.
I move approval of resolution 2024-10-07.
Motion by Anders, second by Williams to approve resolution 2024-10-7. Discussion on that motion. Nick said everything was done. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, same sign. Motion carried.
So do we need to like make sure everybody knows what the next steps are here? So,
So, Chris at the Dragon wanted you to call him tomorrow so he can start in getting all the signatures and get it to the state for approval.
so the county has approved it, but they've been kept abreast of all these updates. So they've seen the
You have
changes.
to ask him tomorrow, ask Chris tomorrow, because he asked me to, he would call him, also call him. So we can get going.
Okay, so then the plat needs to be recorded, the covenants need to be recorded. What else?
that's really about it. And then the development obviously is restricted in the order that it can be built and used. That's about it. We'll need to finalize the assignment of the stormwater responsibilities to the town.
But now it goes to state review. They have, 2 weeks to 30 days, I think, to do it. Yeah,
And then,
and after that, the signature.
and I believe we already have the surety for your public improvements. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good to go.
Okay,
The development agreement's been signed, so Really, that's about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to fill in this resolution number and the exhibits. And that doesn't need to be recorded, you said.
No,
Okay.
I think the key point would be making sure that the covenants are recorded, not just on the development properties here, but also that CSM, the three
Oh,
lots
yeah.
in the CSM that
Yeah.
are going to be part of the stormwater system.
Yes.
So is that something that we should record, or do we want to have, do we want the town or you to record that?
Oh, we can certainly do it. It would be at your expense either way.
Oh, no, the CSMs, those people, there were no covenants when they started. I mean, that was just CSMs.
I understand, but
So-
part of the stormwater system
It's their benefit.
Puts them in.
puts
Yes.
them in it, so these covenants will apply to them, and they're written
Yes.
in such a manner that they apply to the
Just
CSM.
hope they understand.
Well, I would hope that,
Right.
has that conversation taken place?
Yeah.
I would
Well, no, we
assume.
didn't even at that time, this before any of this even happened, so you know. But, and as of yet, nobody's building anything either.
Okay.
So it will happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I can't even,
Have any-
until we get people down there building, I can't ask for them to be members of the association. I mean, they have to be owners to be a member. There has to be 3 of them as of the agreement here.
Right.
Because I had the realtor as one of them. He said, if you do it, and now I find out, no, he can't do it. So nothing goes into effect until we get 3 people, owners who will be on the board.
You're
And
talking about the
I can be
board.
one of them.
Yeah,
So until that happens, nothing's really in effect.
well, until that happens, you're basically the board in and of
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a question. What is AT 35? I don't understand that at all. What's going on in my farm? You did the AT 35. I got a notice from the county, they're voting on it as per your recommendation. I don't understand it.
1830,
Egg transition.
Yeah, but what does that
it
mean?
means that because it's in an area that's not planned to stay in ag anymore, it can't be ag.
Farmland preservation, it doesn't
It can't
qualify.
be farmland preservation, so it's like the non-farmland preservation equivalent to the old 35 acre ag type
Oh,
of
okay.
classification. So
Who decided that?
the county,
The
that's,
county, in complying with the state farmland preservation law, had to do it because our map shows it's planned for commercial in the future.
Oh, so
So
that,
that's why it's ag transition.
I'm not in the farmland preservation, but if I was in it,
Right.
I would not be in it
Right.
anymore.
You would be forced out.
Okay, I guess, why just my farm?
because you asked to have it planned for commercial, or it was planned for commercial at some point. So that's the tipping point where it can't
Okay,
get ag preservation anymore because you've made the decision, or the town has planned it to not be ag someday.
I asked for my 35 down there to be done, but I didn't ask for my home farm to be done. Ever, did I? No, that just came to me one day, the red map saying this is our plan in the future.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, I just
Yeah.
try to understand it. Because we plan on going forward now with that, but just to know.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's the tipping point. Once it's planned for commercial,
Yeah.
then you can't get farmland preservation on
Okay.
it anymore.
Okay. All right.
So a question for you, have you come up with any sort of standards that you want to see for those buildings that are going to be built out there?
You know, so far, we got one that's gonna be closing as soon as it's done. It's gonna be a veterinary clinic, you know? I don't know any standards. I mean, most likely, it's gonna be metal buildings. That's what happens on these industrial, industrial outside of Madison. If I go to that industrial park over there on the corner, it's going to Sauk City. They got the industrial park. It's the one past K. They got the industrial park there. That's what mine's gonna look like. Mainly, just metal, very few real fancy buildings like west side of Madison. You're not gonna see that. So the standards is just what people can afford to put up. I'm sure the veterinary clinic will have a nice building. I think Brian Keene is building a factory, will have a fairly nice building. That way. But I think the one there at Equiplease, they just plan to put a building up with one slant roof, the way it sounds. That's their standard building, where they put all of it, the way it sounds to me.
We should send him our requirements so that he's aware of what our artistic,
So the ones that are in the, what hasn't been approved yet, that's going to the plan commission. that's the
Yeah.
one.
because I think we have, on the front, there has to be some stone,
Or brick or whatever,
something to
some facade, yep.
separate.
But those standards weren't set when I sold the first 3 lots. Were they?
Yes.
Were they? Oh, they're already in place? No?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we've had those in place for some time.
okay, okay. All right.
Just so that what you're expecting, what we're expecting is close to the same thing.
Okay. I
Okay?
wish I would have known that before I closed in the first 3 lots. But nice, but I think it should be no problem. It's not like we're asking for a whole stone building,
No,
just asking for a decent looking building,
yeah,
And
And
landscape.
wait till the landscaping comes up too. No more is there gonna be the 29-cent seedling pine trees
oh,
that are this tall. I mean, it's gonna be substantial plantings that are gonna,
and that's noted in the one covenant for these last 4 lots.
Oh,
How many
yes.
additional trees they have to plant,
yes, I saw that, yes,
so.
yeah. And he has no, yeah, and I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with that.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't think so.
Not that much money. Compare the expense they're gonna have in getting the engineering done on the whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I see a lot more money than that.
Right.
The first 3 lots you referred to, though, they're aware they're gonna be in association and.
No, because there was nothing when we started those.
I didn't think they were either.
No.
I thought that they were just listed on the plat so that it would be clear that they were dedicated so that we could special charge them. I didn't think they were in the, I didn't think we could put them in the association.
They weren't even in the storm management program. Because that number, that lot there, that Equiplease bought, that drained the wrong way. That drained to the west, then to go down. So then, and just luckily, we needed to fill down on the east side, and they took that whole lot and skimmed it down so it would drain to the east. But it was draining to the west when they started, so they weren't even in the storm management thing. Water was going the wrong way.
The covenants, though, that we received from you indicated that those lots were going to be included in this.
But the thing, when they started, wouldn't they had to have their own retention ponds when they started out?
Not if they agreed to join this.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, are they agreeing to join this or not?
Oh, sure, I hope they would. It's only gonna cost them about $100 a year, and that's for the mowing.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I can't imagine why anybody would wanna do that to have it mowed, and I'm paying the first 10 years.
Yeah.
So how could you not, you couldn't mow for that. And all you gotta do is do the mowing and make sure that the culverts are cleared, the main culverts, so they don't fill up with
The
debris.
town is gonna do all that and special charge for it, though.
Okay,
So I don't know what it'll cost. I mean, we don't know yet.
I'm just talking about mowing the ditch. I've been mowing it now.
Okay.
I can plan to continue mowing them, or have
But
somebody.
according to this, the town is gonna maintain that, right?
The ditches?
It'll be all right away.
Well, the ditches?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mow them like a lawn. They look like a lawn when they get done. They look real nice.
Mhm.
And I don't think the town's gonna do that.
If you want to do it, it's up to you.
Yeah, it looks nice when you do that. I guess I'll do it till I get sick of mowing.
Most of the businesses out there now mow it in front of their.
Yeah.
I
areas.
guess I'm talking more about the stormwater,
Yeah,
that area,
Yeah.
the pond area.
he's gonna mow
We're not
it
mowing
for the
that.
first 10
The
years.
town is gonna be responsible for it, but
After his first 10 years, right?
no, the town is gonna be responsible for it, right?
Yeah, if it's installed.
And we're gonna hire somebody to do it so that we know how much it costs.
For the first 10 years, he's gonna do
He's
it.
gonna pay it. No, the town is gonna do it. Right? There's
That's
no-
my understanding, yeah.
Yeah, the town is gonna do it or cause it to be done, and we're gonna special charge these lots, because they benefit. That's what this is written for, and that's what's on the plat. Because that's what you guys decided that night that Bill was here.
Right.
So he's not mowing it, the town is mowing it.
Okay.
And personally, I think we should be hiring somebody to do it so that we have a clear cost of what it is. And then we spread that out every year on special charges.
To the second
Yeah,
one.
I thought that's what we had decided. That's why I was saying that we were mowing it.
Yeah, that's what I've been going on all along here.
To the 7 lots.
Yeah, yes, yes. But I didn't necessarily think that those 3 lots were gonna be part of the covenants. But
That's how it was written.
yeah, you're right, then they
Yeah.
wrote it.
Well, that part I didn't.
Oh,
No,
the covenants with Scott.
Scott wrote the
Scott wrote the
covenants.
covenants,
And,
yes.
and he
Yes.
indicated
Yes.
that these 3 lots
Yes.
were gonna
He
participate.
talked about that, yes,
Which indicates to me that they've agreed
yes,
to that.
yeah, okay,
So we would want confirmation of that fact
Yes.
before we go
yes.
and record anything on their properties.
Oh, no, okay. So let's say that again, before you record.
Before we record anything on the first 3 lots properties, we want
Oh,
confirmation
okay,
that they've agreed to participate in this. We've been operating under the assumption that they agreed to participate based on the fact that it was represented to us. that
yes,
they agreed.
recording, what kind of recording you're talking about? They're the recording of what?
These covenants.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
before,
at
yes,
that point, they're gonna be participating in
Yes.
it. They're gonna be
Yes.
charged for the maintenance costs.
yes,
And I guess we've been operating that they're aware of it.
yes, yes, okay, all right. Well, they will have to be. They will be, we'll be notified and tell them what's happening here
Okay.
before we get the thing signed and recorded. The covenants recorded.
Yeah, we'll need that.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you plan on recording the covenants, do we have to have the first 3 owners? How can you record the covenants without any representatives? Because we don't have lots sold beyond that thing?
no, you'd wanna record it.
You gotta have
before
those
anybody
first, right?
buys
You
it,
gotta have those
ideally.
people on there
Well,
first.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you have 3 lots that are already sold, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, and they're gonna be participating in this.
Yes.
So we need confirmation from each one of those 3
okay,
that they're aware
Okay.
that they're participating.
okay, okay, all right, all right.
So are you still working with Scott Smith?
Yes,
Okay,
well, I was working with Olivia Dunn,
okay.
and she had a pregnancy leave, and I worked with Scott, and I'm not sure who's handling stuff from now on, I'm not sure,
Okay,
but most likely he will.
okay.
So most likely I'll have my realtor though contact those first 3 and tell them.
So we want something in writing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
confirmation about
Yes.
that, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we can do that.
So we'll get this, we gotta change a little bit of wording in here, and then we'll get this signed. And then, well, actually, they're all listed in here to be signed, so then we'll just have to take it to them and have them sign it.
Oh, you look at the covenants right now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But once they do that, then we're fine.
Yeah.
So, but.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not gonna be a surprise to anybody. You're right, they benefit.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
big time.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, it's not that much money. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
so now I'll call Chris tomorrow also, tell him what's going on at Barrington, so he knows. Yeah, so, okay. Okay, thank you.
all right. Moving on, consider approval of Deer Grove EMS Commission Resolution 2024-1-0919 Vehicle Maintenance Fund. Good evening, Chief.
Hi, the resolution is pretty self-explanatory. We have, I think it's $30,000 budgeted for vehicle maintenance. We, at the time of this resolution, had spent the $30,000 due to some pretty big repair problems found on the 2017 ambulances. So in order to maintain the vehicles with some known repairs that got discovered in the other repair process, we'll need more money and more dollars in the budget. So
Through this year.
to get through the remainder of this year. Next year's budget was increased mildly, also knowing that we will be selling away one of the 2017s in April for a new ambulance.
And I'm sure you all noticed that we have in there what the current fund balance is and then what the expectation is, and that we are not in danger, unlike the Monona Grove School Board.
Yeah, use of the $20,000 from unassigned fund balance would keep us within spec.
Man.
I would move approval.
Motion by Anders, is there a
Second.
second by Williams to approve resolution 2024-1-0919 vehicle maintenance funds for Deer Grove EMS Commission. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And we have,
I will bring over the partially signed tomorrow. Had I known which way everything was gonna go, it's sitting in front of John Williams right now, so.
next item is discuss and consider approval of the 2025 Deer Grove EMS district budget.
We had significant discussion about this at our last meeting. Basically, what we want is to have 2 ambulances that are staffed 24/7, 365. And the budget has been building toward that for several years. And after much discussion, it was unanimous to have the budget you see in front of you that does indeed, beginning January 1st, have 2 additional full-time equivalents. And as part of this budget, we have increased the fees for many of the mileage, et cetera, and increased the gross run fee that we are expecting for this budget to $1,020,000 for next year.
What is the basic run fee nowadays? Do you recall?
1,700 for a BLS, 1,900 for, yeah. And that still puts us at middle of the road.
No,
There's some that are-
I get it, but I'm just, it's.
We're also looking towards, because of the information I've shared and those that we work with, that might be like the standard Dane County run fee is what we've got. Just because we always seem to be the kind of on the tip of the spear of raising this stuff and trying to be ahead of it best we can. Unfortunately, there's a lot that goes into, and Steve probably understands this, there's a lot that goes into ambulance billing, and really none of it has anything to do with how much we think we should charge. It all has to do with what the government and insurance companies think they should pay. If you follow some other stuff, you'll hear some things about out-of-network providers, which in every insurance company, we are considered an out-of-network provider, largely because through the opinion of our billing agency, if we align with a particular network, then they even further get to tell us what we can and can't charge. So along with what Chrissy said, yes, we increased all of our rates. Those actually went into effect on the 1st. We decided that if it was good enough to go into effect on January 1st, we might as well make it go into effect now. Also knowing that there's about a 3-month lag behind between billing and seeing those funds.
So you'll notice that we're paying $6,500 more. But because of the new agreement that we have, we also take a hit on how much we can levy, which was $39,000.
We had to reduce our levy by 39,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And through all the discussion, the advantage of transitioning the positions that we had to full-time this year is that next year's budget turns into a cost to continue budget, where I don't project that we would add, we certainly wouldn't ask for any more full-time staff, and if we did, I'll send someone else to make that request.
On the 26th budget.
On the 26th, yeah.
We will negotiate a new labor contract in
Yeah, there'll be
26.
there'll be increases to cost, and always keeping our eye on the ability to have the exemption of our can never remember what act that is, but as long as we keep our increase under CPI plus 2%, then you can exempt our increase. Hopefully we'll get to a spot where we can have that help you guys out more often in the future than we've been able to in the past.
Do you have any idea when they'll want to start that negotiation next year on the labor?
I'm just trying to get through this year, my man.
I'd rather do it earlier than later.
I concur, yeah, and I'm sure they'd like the same.
I'll let Devin know.
Oh, he knows that these are what we're expecting.
So that we aren't trying to do it while we're doing a budget.
Yeah. No, I think last time around we had it done mid-year, didn't we?
I think it was
June,
mid-year.
It was
July.
like, yeah, it was.
June or July.
Yeah.
Question, the 100% change down here,
Yes,
2.12%,
yes.
and that's because of what you,
Well, there's a new agreement. So,
and the village is up 20-some%.
yep.
How did you work that out?
Their percentage would have actually gone down had they stayed in the old agreement, but because of the new percentage, their allocation went up.
I was totally surprised at that
Formula.
when they even
Yeah.
went with that. I couldn't believe it. Interesting.
Well, I would move approval of the 2025 Deer Grove EMS district budget.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the 2025 Deer Grove EMS budget as presented. Any discussion on that motion?
One more question here. Contribution for 2024 for us was 307,522,
Yep,
Mhm.
and we went up to 314.
yep.
$30,000 worth of capital in allocation for 24 and $150,000 for 2025 is a big difference there as well. We've communicated. those numbers
Wait a minute. Okay, so 307 and 25 is 314.
Which number? What?
What are you looking at? Right here. Contributions for
Yep.
2024.
Yep.
Here's for 2025.
Yep.
That's only 7.
That's the 6,000 difference, but there's a change in formula and there is, the
It
change
says
in
we're plus 56,000 here.
$6,531.
That says 56,000 right there, difference.
No, that's a dollar sign.
What?
6511,
Looking,
That's a dollar sign.
6531.
6,500.
That's a dollar sign right there.
You want my glasses?
oh, okay, jeez. Okay, got it. Sure looked like it. Plus with a dollar sign after it.
Yes.
Interesting.
All right. No other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. While you're here, did the village act on that note from Sun Prairie?
They're talking about it right now, so I'm trying to walk out the door and help them talk about it.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll let you walk
Go
out
and
the
come
door.
I'll report back.
Okay, thank you.
I talked directly to Chief Garrison about this before we got it. So it's more, not necessarily about staffing, it's about everything else, is what I'm explained about. So we'll provide them information and see if there's ways that we can streamline some stuff, maybe it costs less a little bit. But we have a lot of data that says that we are already less expensive than Sun Prairie, so we'll help them remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
Any comments about things in the east publicly?
Nothing. Gave them a deadline of the 10th,
The 10th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This month,
This month.
as in
tomorrow?
3 days from now.
3 days?
Otherwise, we won't have time to do our stuff.
Good luck. Chris, I think we're done with you.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Drive careful, you are now active again.
let's see, fire is still down at the village, so if we can
Amber's online.
April's online.
Oh, wonderful.
You there?
Unless she's just tuned out and talking to the village.
It looked like Nick was talking in
Yeah.
the video.
Here she is.
Are you there?
April? Can you hear us, April?
Wave, just kidding.
She might be.
No, Amber or April, I meant.
Too.
Is she there?
Yeah,
There she is.
Yes,
it's
We-
unmuted now.
we cannot hear you, April. She just texted.
Make sure, check the volume of that thing is working. Yeah, it's up.
She just wrote you a message.
I know.
This one had a super delay, this go-to meeting had a super delay when I went to talk a couple times.
Go on to other stuff and then come back.
We cannot hear, oh, that's Kim.
I was going to suggest we move on to the Strand Associate for 2025 service for the Net Big Road landfill.
I would move approval.
Second,
Motion by Anders, second by Williams to approve the 2025 agreement with Strand and Association for the Net Big Road landfill as presented.
question, do they attend at least one town board or town village landfill committee meeting a year?
There's the last time.
Oh, they were.
Strand?
What's that? I'm sorry.
No, at
Town board,
the
Landfill meeting?
landfill meeting,
What's that?
Okay,
Strand and Associates.
I was just looking at all the things that they agreed to do, and I didn't remember them ever coming to a town board meeting. So that was why I raised that question. But if they go to your committee
They go
meetings,
to,
Yeah.
come to the committee meeting and
that's more
give
important.
us all of the results that they
Okay.
send to the DNR.
We get to look at all the charts and graphs and pie charts. And
They were in
I
a year
guess.
ago or whatever it was. When the committee fights in.
Okay, that was the only question I had.
So on that motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. How about consider acceptance of high-tech heating 2025 HVAC maintenance quotes?
Have we ever gotten other quotes?
Way back when,
Can I suggest that next year we get a couple?
you want to get them?
Sure.
Go ahead, go right ahead. Tell her, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why they don't respond?
There's a lot to show.
Ah. Okay. Take them to every one of these places and ask them for a quote.
And most of them have multiple furnaces.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well, if you can't send them a letter and ask them to go out and they don't do it, that's too bad. You don't have to run over to a shop and say, hey, you want to do a bid on high tech? That really, or not on high tech, but on the town, that's not kosher.
And the reason the ESOB went up 300% is I added 3 more,
4 more, wasn't it? They told me
Well,
4.
4 more sites in there for them to maintain.
I was going to ask about that. So my question mark is right here. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then I guess we move to accept the high-tech heating 2025 HVAC maintenance quotes.
Motion by Williams, is there a second?
Second,
Second by Duplay to accept the high-tech heating 2025 HVAC maintenance quotes. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Complete the 2025 insurance renewal questionnaire.
And this company is,
This comes from Horton.
okay. Have we ever explored with, there are lots of insurance agents.
Rural.
It's basically rural and Horton from what I've ever seen for
Commercial type stuff.
municipalities. And we did, it's been a little while, but we did have a quote from rural one time.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago.
It's got, yeah,
Something like that.
at least.
Okay. There are just lots of insurance agencies that are part of the Chamber of Commerce. And I just was wondering if there's anything there, but it's not.
I'm trying to, I mean, I can't remember if even anybody else quoted when we did that a few years ago, because there's
It
just
was
not,
only rural.
there's not very many that do municipalities. I think it was just, yeah, I think rural had been asking for a chance to quote, and so we did, but we ended up sticking with Horton.
I do remember that.
Liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was quite a few years ago, but I do remember it. Thank you.
So we got all of our employees listed on the first page, or the first page, page 2.
Please.
And all of our locations on page 3. Page 4, real property.
Numbers seem okay to me. I mean, for,
April just messaged, she said that Nick is gonna be heading down here. They just finished with the study, the village approved the study.
Okay. Oh boy, so we're okay on real property and personal property?
Mm-hmm.
Page 5, limits of insurance schedule.
No change.
Page 6. We're okay there.
Yeah, can change that.
Crime,
Nothing new.
covered on crime, I think. Inland marine, schedule of equipment.
We had Dan look at that and he noticed that the woods,
You got that two new trucks.
those are vehicles. This is all the other scheduled equipment.
Yeah,
And it is missing the woods batwing mower, so I've got that listed down below in the first add line. Is that what it is, batwing? Batman. Never mind.
are we okay on 9 and 10? Then auto. We have the Western Star on there.
Yep. The 2012 will be leaving this list this year yet.
How come the Western Star is only valued at $1.35?
Because it hasn't had the rest done
It
yet.
doesn't have the box and that on it yet.
Well, you don't have to do value yet,
You don't have to value it as a complete vehicle yet?
not yet, not that we receive it.
If we haven't, we've got it, it's sitting over at Burke, right?
Yeah,
So we technically own, I mean, it's,
We own the
possess
chassis,
it,
we
yeah,
own the chassis, we don't own anything else on it yet,
okay.
not until we take possession of it. So if it would get damaged there, we'd get our money back from the chassis, we wouldn't owe them any money for the body and stuff, so.
so we're good on auto?
No,
No,
got another question.
okay.
Why is the 2010 International actual cash value versus agreed value?
I wonder if that's got something to do with age. I can ask him that.
Yeah. Just a question.
Okay, so we'll get something in there.
Look at the last year's one.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was like that
I
too.
don't think it was.
I don't think so either.
General liability. No dams, reservoir. New operations, none. Discontinued, none.
65.
Yeah,
still good for
payroll,
miles. How many miles do we have now of roads?
independent
About
contractors.
64. Just under 64.
Change it from 65 to 64.
Yeah. Yeah, I just forgot that part. I think it's at 63.7 or something.
Schedule of exposures, you're okay?
Looks good.
Law enforcement. Wrongful act. Who's the one officer armed?
You guys ask that every year.
Is that the weed commissioner?
No, I'll have to look again. I got the answer for you last year. And I don't know what it was, but it's something about, it's something we have to have even though we contract with the county, and I don't remember the answer, but I asked him last year. I knew you were gonna do that, as I was looking at it, like, you're gonna ask me that again. And
We're consistent.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. I'll look it up again.
Okay.
How
Public
much is that costing us a year?
I don't think much.
Oh, okay. Public officials and management liability. We're okay with that?
Yeah.
Excess liability. You're okay with that? Completed.
Okay, all right, for another year.
So we will go back to discuss and consider approval of the 2025 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late. So I put the 2024 and 2025 budgets right next to each other so you can see changes from year over year. And then there's an included basic Word document that has why things changed and how they changed.
Year over year, total change, we're looking for an increase of around 10,252 from last year. A big part of that is, comes from the medical evaluations. So what's happening right now is NFPA is working with OSHA to redo some of the standards. Because we're a 181 department, we fall under OSHA for regulations. Part of that regulation is they're gonna start requiring mandatory annual physicals. So we figured we would just start doing it, get ahead of the curve, so that when it's mandatory, we already have it established, we don't have to scramble and do something last minute. So we're gonna have a company come in early January and do physicals for everybody right at the station. They bring in a trailer and 4 or 5 people at a time and get through everybody in one night or 2 nights, I think it is. So.
Village pass it?
The, talking about the study.
No, the
Budget.
budget.
They have not talked about the budget yet.
Okay.
They do, they have a.
They'll wait until.
They have a whole process. So there's.
Yeah.
The public hearings and all that stuff. So they haven't done their budget process yet.
Do you wish to act on it?
I would move approval of the 2025 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget
As presented.
as presented tonight. Yes.
Motion by Williams. Second by Duplay to approve the 2024-5 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget as presented. Discussion?
Just one quick clarification. I had one item for capital budget, which was ladder one tire replacement. I didn't know if you wanted to do that as a separate item or if you wanted to do that as part of the 2025 budget as well.
I would say leave it as part of the budget.
Yeah.
I'll just put including $10,000 worth of capital improvements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Part of
making
the
sure.
budget.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Okay. Discuss and consider approval.
Did you vote on
You
that?
didn't vote.
Oh.
Okay.
All those in favor of the fire department budget for 2025 as presented, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So now we have the emergency service building budget for 2025. And I have to go and grab something because I think there's some numbers missing.
Is April still down there? She's online. She's actually in Washington DC right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's an hour later for her.
Yeah.
Is somebody signing paperwork for the electrical work?
Do you want me to do it or, I mean, I can if you want, or, well, I guess we gotta wait till you guys both approve your capital budget for the building, right?
Did I not give you a filled out 2025 budget
after the meeting?
worksheet.
After the meeting? I don't know. Because do I just have what was before the meeting then? And if they change something or?
We have this.
Yeah, but it's
That's all
not
we got.
complete.
So what are you looking for?
No, take that back. It is.
So the budget has gone down
No.
from 24 to,
It went up $1,600 total operating expense. And total expenses,
Well, last year had that 73,000 in there for all the upgrades they did over there with the locks and everything else.
yeah,
So that was a big
entrance.
expense
yeah,
last year and this
That was
this
the
year.
capital output.
And this year, we just approved a couple of lights,
Next year, it's only $5,000.
$5,000
worth, which is what we approved.
Well, one question, I don't know if I asked you this already, Chris, or not, but Cameron at the village was asking, is that $5,000 going to be from the building fund, or is that just something you're budgeting for?
That's something we were budgeting
So
for.
you're not planning to take that out of the repair funds? Okay, that's what I thought too, when he asked, so, because I don't have it shown that way, that it's coming out of the repair fund. I have it that's what we would
Budget for.
we're budgeting for, is our share of that.
No, I thought that was part of the 2025 budget.
Correct.
Okay. I'll just make sure I clarify that too.
okay, so the budget for 2025 then is 44,269.50, is that correct?
That's our 50%, yeah.
Share.
And that's what I was saying, was 77,000, that's because of major,
What we did to the locks over
right, right.
there.
That was the big deal.
Yeah, that was 73.
And I never figured out my fob until it was sitting in that box for a month and a half. Never knew what it was for. But what the hell is this thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So gas, electricity went up, water, sewer went up, HVAC's going up.
Everything went up.
Insurance went up, telephone, generators stayed basically the same. Building maintenance, cleaning supplies, cleaning services went up.
The budget for gas and electricity, though, doesn't show an increase. It's the same as 2024. Gas and electricity. You said it went up, but it.
No, yeah. We're hoping, although tonight on the news, they were saying cost of heating is going up for next year.
Figures.
but year to date for 2024, through the 18th of September is just a little over half, actually. So they're swagging it, I presume, to say the same, I guess.
Yeah, because 23 actual was 20,000, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. And we've had the warmest September on record, and
Yeah.
it's pretty warm October.
Yeah,
So
So far,
well, we're 1/4 of the way through.
right.
good snow at the end of the month.
Now I'm going trick or treating with our 5-year-old.
Snowed on Halloween
I think it
before.
looks good.
Is there a motion?
I move approval of
Second.
the 2025 emergency service building budget.
Motion by DePlace, second by Williams to approve the 2025 emergency service building budget as presented. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Yeah, you did. The actually budgeted.
I don't know that they're gonna have the lift for tomorrow for over there.
Yeah.
If I find out different, I'll call you.
Mike Robbins is sitting over there.
Huh?
I said Mike Robbins is sitting over there. I guess if they'd asked him, probably would let him use it. I don't know.
Liability.
Yeah.
Public Works. Road right away.
Right-of-way permits, since the last time I spoke of them was a couple meetings ago. Bass Road Charter, they had coax cable being replaced. Wind Chime Way was another charter. That was also a coax cable being replaced. They're just to individuals, no like big runs or anything. So those were pretty easy ones. And then the Nadvig one, which we actually just closed today, because I got it done right away. Northwest Cable did underground Cat 6 fiber connection to a house there in a corner on Nadvig by the pit. That was the other one. Other than that, we had one coming today, but I haven't reviewed it yet or anything. And then I had a couple things come up recently. The batteries for our speed signs, we got 4 of them went bad. I'm guessing they're the original 4 because we had original 4 and then we bought 4 new ones.
Yeah.
And they won't take a charge anymore, and they're only putting out 9 volts. They're supposed to put out 12.
Whoops.
We've been noticing that when we have those ones in the things, they die in like 3 days. And
Good
now
price.
that's what I figured. We'll get a price and put it on the next agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that for 4 of them to replace. The little one, the small 12-inch one, them 4 batteries been doing good since we've had them. But those other signs have a lot more capabilities, a lot more. Well, they have cameras in them for one thing, so they're taking pictures every time somebody goes by a speeding, so that takes up a little more battery space. But and then also I had mentioned a while ago about water fountain for the town garage.
Yeah.
And I talked to a few guys or whatever, and starting now for units, just for the water fountain units, it's like 1,500 to 1,700 for like the one like we put in here. But I noticed on Amazon you can get them for like 900 for just the bottle filler. I was wondering if that's something you guys would want to do. We could put it on an agenda or whatever. I'll get a couple options. Maybe we'll do that, and then us guys can just install it. Because labor on putting one of those other ones is gonna be another $600 probably.
Water heater? What are you talking about?
Water filler, water bottle filler.
Water.
'Cause
Oh,
we have a water fountain over there. We never use it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's
Well, it's not filtered or anything either,
no,
is it?
it's all lined up. I clean it more. I clean it more than I drink out of it. Let's just say that. I clean it probably once a week, really, because it gets limed up. It'd be just like the one over here. It just wouldn't have the water fountain part. It'd just be the bottle filler. Because we always,
That was a faucet.
I mean, I actually fill my water out of the hose when I don't come over here and do it. So, because I think the hose water outside in the garage tastes better than that water fountain. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. That's me. But I mean, if we have it over there, we might as well use it. So, I mean, it's been in there since it was a fire department.
Yeah.
So it probably needs, it needs to be replaced anyway.
To get prices and put it on the next
Yes,
agenda.
yes.
Do you agree though, to go with get the prices on ones we could buy and put in ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, I can call the 2 guys I called back and have them work orders too, and then figure out what it costs for them to do it finalized. So I think, didn't we pay like 2,200 or 2,600 or something like that for this? It was more than.
It was COVID money.
Yeah, but it was more than what we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I know that, but we could have it in an hour, I would think. And then, furnace guys were there today. Our furnace in the shop for the break room is early 90s. The one that's actual furnace. He said that the flame looks good, but he's like, you're probably on borrowed time. So we might want to think about replacing it next year. The furnace. And then the one Resnor that we had gotten priced on before, that one's still ticking. So I think I got enough in the budget to replace it if it does go this winter.
Have him send you a quote.
For the one upstairs? Okay. Because I don't even know what BTU that one is. I'd have to go up and look at it.
And we can put that on the next agenda.
Yeah, okay. 'Cause that's, early 90s, so it's one of these days. It's lasted quite a while then.
Yeah.
I think we're doing good with it. But yeah, that's all I had.
Clerk Treasurer Office update.
I actually have quite a few things. I learned today that court is going to be in this room on the 30th, so we can't have a second budget meeting that night. So I don't know if you want to pick a different date or hope like heck we don't need it or stay all night or what you want to do.
Hope like we don't need it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, we can always set another night that night
That
if we
night,
decide
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull that 30th off the calendar for us and we'll just wait it. Okay, I sent an email about tax inserts. The only thing I heard back was Christie, she had a good idea about trying to fit a paragraph on the usual tax letter, just reminding people that there's local governments and schools that could use their help and they should consider looking at what's open and running for office or committees and commissions at all levels here, schools, the county, everybody's looking for help. So we thought about I'll try to word something and get it to Christie. See if we can get maybe some people to show some interest. And if you have any other ideas, I mean, I hope to just have, unless we come up with something that is really worth the money to put it out there, I hope to just have our usual letter and then the
Calendar.
recycling thing, yeah. Speaking of that, myself and Amber and Jen attended training with the Dane County Treasurer on Friday afternoon. We will be moving to the Land Nav tax collection system this year, which is the new version of the company, same company, but it's a newer version and they've been phasing municipalities into it gradually. The one that we've always used is like a desktop application that's only on our computer and we upload to the county twice, once at the end of December and once at the end of January. This new Land Nav system is at the county, so it's real time. So tax bills that we receive will show paid on access day in the next morning. So there's not as much need for people to be requesting receipts and all that kind of stuff that we used to have. So it should be good. It's going to be, I don't know, I guess I'm getting old school with computers, but I think you've all seen it when we had old programs that worked really good and then they came out with the latest, greatest, newest Windows version of things and all you do, instead of all the keyboard shortcuts and you can wham bam around on it, you got to scroll and click. And even the people training that were like, yeah, it does slow you down some. So I think it is going to slow us down a little bit, especially the first year, but there are enough other benefits and there's no other choice. So
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
so that's that. At that training, I noticed that, no, that was another training that I went to. I went to a training also with the Towns Association on mostly election security again. One thing that stood out, I noticed a lot of clerks are carrying a second phone. And that's something that I really don't want, but it's getting to be more and more where we have all these apps that we have to have an app on our phone that text that, like the bank has their own app, this Land Nav system has its own app, and we're getting kind of tired of putting all this stuff on our own phones. I resurrected Dan's old phone that we had in a drawer. It's not on cellular, but it's Wi-Fi, and the other two can put some of those apps on that for them. But I am going to ask that maybe I can get an actual live cell phone. Because the other thing is I don't really like having to give my cell phone number out to the Elections Commission and everybody else. And so I'm having somebody come from FirstNet Thursday. And I do have money in both the office equipment and the elections budgets to actually buy a phone, I think, but there would be an ongoing $30 to $40 cost a month. So if you want me to bring that back to you on the next agenda, I can do that. Along the same lines, Like I said, there's money in the budget every year to buy computers. We don't need a computer. We actually have a computer that Deb was using from home that we're not even using. So if one of our computers go down, we can slide that right in. What I decided, and I did go ahead with, is I got a tablet for the office. I think it's going to be really useful on election day to have as at the greeter position where they can have a tablet with them and people can look up on My Vote. If they're in the wrong place, they can find out where to go. They can find out if they're actually registered, and the greeter will have all that live to work with. So that tablet also gives us, again, if we need something else to activate all these apps, somebody could have theirs on that one too. So that I already ordered because I want it up and running to get my election people training. And like I said, it fits in either budget. I'm not sure which one I'll put it to yet, but I think that's a good addition for the office. So those are the two things. And then speaking of phones, I've been thinking for a long time that we're paying way too much with Frontier phones. And so I did contact TDS and I actually got a quote from them this morning. It is significantly cheaper. Like we're paying over $400 a month for phones and this was $19.99 per line. So $100 a month. But then I checked with Pyramid, who maintains our phone system, to make sure that we wouldn't be messing something up by switching from Frontier to TDS. And he said we wouldn't, but then he also gave me a quote for a third-party vendor that they've been using that is basically fiber. So it would come in using the internet at the fire station because that's where the phone system is. And then a converter that converts it to analog lines. And that one he gave me quotes too. And so that and TDS are pretty comparable. I was kind of concerned about the fact that that one is internet. And what if the internet's down? Now we don't have phone or the internet. But then he said you can set that up so that, and he thinks it's per line, but he's verifying that to me, so that as a fail-safe, if the internet is down, like you could set it so the town hall would ring my new cell phone, or the town garage would ring your cell phone, or the fire department would ring some cell phone that you guys wanted, or EMS. And that sounds pretty intriguing to me, so that if the internet ever was down, people could still get through to us as long as cell service was up. So I'm going to bring you those two quotes next time, TDS and I can't remember the name of this other company, and you can decide which one of those you might want. A lot of the features that he described in this third-party one, he described in a voicemail, so I'm going to forward that to you through email so you can listen to that rather than trying to transcribe it. So that's, and then the other thing is, so if you remember last year, we put money in this year's budget to rekey everything. We have not gotten around to that as a major project. But for the heck of it, I thought I would see what would it cost to do, instead of rekeying, what would it cost to just put keypads on the front door here and at Flynn Hall. I don't want the fobs, but I would keypads would be nice, because then you could set a code for someone who's renting it this weekend and erase it when they're done, versus chasing down all these keys all the time. But it's a lot of money. It's like $10,000 or $12,000 for the two buildings. So I don't know I'm sure that could be high. I got that from Capital Lock, who we had gotten quote to do the rekey. I can get more quotes, but at that price, I don't know if you even want me to pursue that at all. So
I like the idea of keypads
I do
simply
too.
because,
well,
half the time I don't have my town hall key on the key ring of the car that I'm currently driving.
yeah.
So you
Sell a
don't-
car.
Don't drive so many new cars.
and that we have to go home and get it or whatever.
All these people that rent, they got to come in here and get a key, and then they got to get it back, and then we got to make sure they got it back and keep track of who's got what, and then they lose them, or all these Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and everybody else has a key, and it's just it's a nightmare. And we talked about rekeying to clean that up, but I feel like in short order we're going to be right back in that same situation. So I don't know. It's a lot of money though, and I don't know.
Don't you think it's taken a long time to get to this situation?
No, it's
So
been
many
this way
keys
for a
out there.
long time, as far as tons of keys.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
over a lot of years. Not just,
The last time we
we don't even know who's all got keys. I don't
Right,
think.
that's part of the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
We kind of do, but there are a lot of them that have been lost over there. We have a list,
I
but
think I still got my first key from when they first
yeah,
got
so
elected
I don't
to the
know.
town
I don't know
board.
if you want me to get any more quotes to look at budget time or.
I would say yes.
I would say
Yeah,
yes.
probably.
I think for the money, it's
My,
not worth it for the little bit of use. I don't know.
I hate spending
Something
money
simple would be good.
on that front door unless we're going to change the doors.
Well, I think that quote did have
So
something in
that
it.
they're handicap accessible.
But if you put a keypad on the front door, I guarantee they have to change the
Yeah.
whole lock mechanism.
Some
They're
of
probably
that-
gonna have to replace the door.
Some of that was included in this quote.
Same with Flint Hall too. That would have to probably be a different door to accommodate that style lock.
We got 2 doors to lock, the front door.
Down
2
there,
doors to unlock.
You know what I would do at Flint Hall? I'd put it on the back door.
Yeah.
I'd put the
Here?
keypad,
The front door, we got 2,
but
go through 2 doors that are locked.
you would just do
well,
the
the
front.
inside door doesn't need to be locked.
Yeah.
You just do the front, the main door. And at Flint Hall, I
You'd
would,
have to remove that one.
Yeah,
I'd
basically.
leave the deadbolt on, just put a blank on it so there's no key there. Because Kim still has to lock this place up at certain times.
at election time, I need to be able to lock this room down that nobody with a key can get in either when I set it all up the night before an election. And that's been a concern because there are keys, yeah, lots of keys.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna put a deadbolt in there and we gotta figure out something for that front door too, so that I can lock it down tight when I have all the equipment out the night before an election. But anyway,
Might as well get the quote.
well, I can get a couple more quotes and see if it's if there's anyone any better, but
Okay.
that's all.
That's all?
Wow.
All right. Board reports and communications. Matt Easy forwarded this to me. He got a letter from Sun Prairie. The city of Sun Prairie and the towns of Bristol and Sun Prairie are conducting a joint fire and EMS study. Study will address the challenges of fire and EMS services and provide recommendations for enhanced service delivery and sustainable financing. The purpose of this letter is to invite your community to participate in the service sharing study. The city has engaged Wisconsin Policy Forum to conduct an analysis of fire and EMS services and propose a spectrum of options for policymakers to consider. The analysis will explore several opportunities to enhance collaboration, including joint training or apparatus maintenance and sharing vehicles and staff across agencies. Communities that choose to participate in the study will be asked to share data on their fire and EMS operations and budgets and have their chiefs participate in meetings facilitated by the Wisconsin Policy Forum. During those facilitated meetings, communities would have the opportunity to weigh in on options as they are being developed and provide feedback on the final report. The study will not make formal recommendations or commit your community to any options.
How much?
And they're wondering if your community is interested in participating. But
Doesn't say how
they
much.
didn't send it to me, they sent
They're
it
not
to the
charging.
Village, which, number one,
Yeah.
I'm upset about that. Number two, Sun Prairie is broke. Sun Prairie has difficulties getting way out by us where their districts are. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be a negative Nelly on this, but I kind of sort of am.
Agree.
I could see the fringe areas of the town of Sun Prairie going over this way. Guess who's going to be responding? Deer Grove EMS. You know,
or fire,
huh?
and or fire.
Exactly. And plus, I can't possibly, Sun Prairie is the bull in the china shop kind of thing. And I don't believe, based upon my long-term knowledge of the city of Sun Prairie, especially their fire side, that they would accept anything other than being the king of the hill when it comes to administration and all that kind of stuff. And I don't see any good, but all bad coming out of this.
I agree.
But again, going back to my initial comment, I am upset that the city of Sun Prairie, we're just as much of a player as the village is in this, and they couldn't see fit to let us know.
Did the village act on this while you were there?
They're gonna participate.
They're going to
Jesus.
participate?
Why? Oh, I guess the question is too, with that survey that we had, less than 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Why don't they use the data from that rather than doing the whole thing all over again?
And look
They
at,
can.
And what?
look at all the data that Chief Lang pulled together last year, to try and resolve,
Yeah.
comparing everything. I mean, he's got it. And as he said, leaving here, we can document that we are doing all of this for less money than what they are
Yeah.
proposing.
Why would they approve it without even talking to us about? So there would be one
The
entity
village,
that
it's the
would
village.
be part of it and the other two would not be heard with.
They're looking to study.
If this was Dane County trying to
Whatever.
figure out how to, maybe we could all save money on our billing, because we all have to go through billing. If there would be something that would save money there.
And there
But
are,
anything beyond that, I'm not.
and there are public officials in other communities that feel, and I have no idea on their qualifications to make the statements, although we've heard them at the Dane County Towns Exec Committee level, that for one thing, there are too many ladder trucks in Dane County. Dane County can get by with fewer ladder trucks, meaning consolidation.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have their, I'm not saying this is the information, everybody wants to have their own big fire departments for their particular areas, even though they may not use truck A very often. And if there is a need for it, it could come from a different location.
Was Chief Lang for this? Were you there?
He's on right now.
Oh, is he? Hello?
I'm here, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think there is room for us to find ways to save money. This is more of a regional thing than it didn't come just to the Cottage Groves. It went to DeForest and to Madison as well. So it's a bigger look at the northeast part of Dane County. Part of my philosophy is if we are a little bit negative with it and say there's nothing that we can learn from this, nothing that we can provide, nothing you can do for us, then we're not part of the conversation. I really believe that we need to be part of the conversation and help to steer it to the information that we've already provided, to say that we are a fiscally responsible service that's providing the to the needs of the community, rather than someone that throws our heads into the sand and just gives a budget and says we're doing good.
Why would they send this just to the village and not to us? Like we're not involved or what?
Or the
Hey,
village of Deer? To them?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. That's going to have to be a City of Sun Prairie or maybe even a policy forum question.
So why would the village approve this without having it in front of our commission first to look at this? And so we would all be into it together. Well, I mean, that makes no sense.
Everyone said that I have heard nothing.
But and the village approved it today, apparently.
Yeah, I had heard of the letter from Matt who sent it over, and then we physically got one, but we haven't had a meeting yet to discuss it further.
So it's not approved yet.
Well, it's approved by the village to share data. What do we need to? What do I need to be approved to send somebody some data?
Yeah, but
at the same time, if the village approves it and you're sending it to the village, can't you just include our?
It's not going to go to the village. It's going to go to the policy forum. The policy forum is doing this
To
stuff.
participate in meeting facilitated by the Wisconsin Policy Forum, so it's taking your time, fire chief's time to attend those meetings when and wherever they're held.
It seems like we're reinventing the wheel.
Well, to Steve's statement, there is some budget challenges in other communities, and they're looking for ways to collaborate to solve some of their own problems. I'll tell you exactly as Christy mentioned, as a county, we're going to pay $1 million plus to EMSMC for billing services. And ourselves next year, we've budgeted for about $65,000. Imagine if through a county initiative, there was a way we could either have the county pay for that as a service or decrease that even by 50%. Like, I think there's room for all, and I've sent this information off to the county for the county to be involved as well. So I really think that they're going to do some information exploring. They're probably going to give some information. It's probably going to be very similar to what they've given information on other counties. And we're going to be like, yeah, we knew all that already. Another, for instance, would be, I've already asked when I started here if the city of Sun Prairie would be interested in assisting us with vehicle maintenance. It's kind of a give and take scenario where they had some capacity. They could have worked on our stuff. They have certified technicians. They, like for our car as a prime example, they work on cop cars all the time. There's no reason they couldn't work on our stuff, but it kind of met an administrative roadblock at the maintenance shop. This takes a look at that stuff a little bit bigger and helps us make some headway.
But you know, anything Dane County does right now, they're hurting for money.
Yeah.
They're
no kidding.
$265 million in debt.
Well, more than that.
Well, that's what we were told here at the meeting. So, but I don't know. You can't. It's hard to be successful in Dane County because somebody, like he said, who is going to fight the system because they're not doing well. So then what we should do is go in with them and help them.
Correct.
And I don't mind doing something.
Chief, you
between
came
us.
from Sun Prairie, all right? You know the system well there. You know, and still have contacts. You know the city is not in a good shape financially. If they would, they wouldn't have enacted a wheel tax for next year, for their people. So again, but anyway, what purpose would it serve for us to assist and become part of this is Sun Prairie is looking at becoming a larger entity and potentially absorbing in some way, shape, or form other outlying areas.
No, Marshall?
I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, I can only take the word of the man that said that that's not what this is about. So, I mean, it talks specifically about ways that we could.
Okay, how does saving money help Sun Prairie, who initiated this whole thing? It doesn't.
Well, let's say, for instance, we all get on the same cycle and we all purchase ambulances together. And because all of us buying 5 at once, we get to save 25% each ambulance.
We could do that anyway.
Not as easily as if we had a plan put forth to say, hey, we're all together, we're all going to agree on one ambulance. Yeah, we could do that on the side, but this is studying that to see what it could be, what the possibilities are. I talked about, what if we align our equipment and that we're buying more equipment in bulk and we're saving 10% because of how much more we're buying as one as opposed to individuals.
The county can facilitate that kind of stuff. rather than Sun Prairie.
I mean, maybe the county could,
This
but
item isn't on our agenda, so we shouldn't be discussing it anymore at this point in time. I'll look at putting it on an agenda in the future possibly. So
Kim.
let's go
What's the time
to,
frame on this?
huh?
What's the time frame when they're gonna start this?
Didn't say.
I don't think they listed a specific start time frame on it.
Concluding the 2025,
To conclude,
conclude in early 2025. It doesn't say a start date or anything,
I'd just say put it on a future agenda.
so.
Okay.
Well, I think the chief would like to have it soon on the agenda, but you know, I don't see any
Yeah, I
problem
mean,
with him going to meetings. You know, he's not gonna be making any decisions whatsoever. But at least we in the military, then we at least know what our enemies are doing.
Let's
Wait,
go to
nothing personal. I was just
committee
kidding.
reports.
I'm
Can
not
I-
in the
can I
military.
report on the
thanks,
chamber-
chief.
Thank you. Can I report on the Chamber of Commerce?
Okay.
I went to the last meeting. The program was Monona Grove Education Foundation, and they had the coordinator of the student internships talk. And the Monona Grove High School is looking for student internship opportunities. And I thought, I wonder if we want to have a student intern help in the town hall. And this is Kim, as would be somebody reporting to you, and we would have to pay them. Do you need additional help?
I think we get emails about something like this, that they were looking for students, but it was nothing about money though, as I remember. Wasn't that a few years ago or something? Monona Grove sent us a letter
Right.
and
Okay.
asked if we had jobs for kids in the summer or
I
whatever.
don't think, I mean, it's the way that the town office is the two people that have been here a year and 2 years are still learning everything, and it takes a lot of my effort with them, even still trying to bring them up to speed, and I wouldn't want to do that every day with an intern too. It would put them at the edge.
Understand.
But you were saying Monona Grove Education Foundation?
They did, they were the.
That's who it was.
program.
Okay, from the school, actually. Okay.
Right. And then the other thing was the Village of Cottage Grove is celebrating their 100th birthday, 100 years this weekend, this Saturday.
Boy,
Flynn Hall will be open from 11 to 3, thanks to the town of Cottage Grove opening it up for them. And the event is going to be on Reynolds Street.
But we're involved, the American Legion, we're gonna
right.
give out flags inside Flynn Hall and talk to people about the American Legion, and the museum or the Historical Society is gonna be open. And so there are things, there's gonna be quite a few food carts over across the field over by
Across from
1855, yeah.
In that
So there's
field.
be a lot more than just on Reynolds Street, and
Yeah.
the chamber's been working hard on this thing. So I mean, it's really a combo. They forget about the fact that the village was in our Flynn Hall for years.
And the town was here 75
Yeah,
years
long
before
time
they
before.
were.
Yeah, very good point. But, she's been out looking, I'm gonna have my Model A, one of them in the, out in front of Flynn Hall besides, so looks like it's old, which is about, this one's a 31, so it's pretty close to their
Yeah.
100 years, so. But, so she's out trying to get things done, and I think I think it'll be really good, actually.
Weather's supposed to be nice.
Whether it's
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
cooperate.
I guess so, yeah.
Deer Grove EMS.
Well, we had a long meeting. There were 119 calls in August, including 2 missed calls, which is down slightly from 122 in 2023. A gas engine will be in the next ambulance that has been ordered. And that's partially because of the diesel particulate filter that has been an issue over many months and really devoured the vehicle maintenance budget that we had this year. The new EMS MC billing rates, which we talked about earlier, are in effect now. They went into effect October 1st. And it was, these changes were based on a comparison of the rates charged by other Dane County ambulances. And basically everything else we've already discussed, so.
Okay, Netvig landfill monitoring committee.
We paid the bills.
And we heard the report of all the testing that's gone on for the year and was all reported to the DNR.
Right.
All good.
All good. Everything.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Correct.
We have chloride high at the North Netvig Road and N interchange, but we always do because of the salting there.
Yeah,
It's on a hill.
Yeah.
Come on,
That
get on
makes
that.
sense. Oh, my.
I don't put any salt on that. To be honest with you, it gets sun all day long. A little bit in the intersections, that's about it.
Plumber Street, blank goes downhill.
Yeah.
I can't say the first word.
County road, I can tell you, has a lot of salt on it.
Yeah.
Water.
Right.
Cottage Grove Fire,
Approve the budget.
Trucks
the
get fit.
squads due any day.
Yeah, they called today and said that they're still waiting on a few more of the brackets, which they thought would be in tomorrow morning. Hopefully tomorrow they finish it and then we pick it up from them this week.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by DePlace, second by Williams, non-debatable, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
So Kim, who's using Flood Hall on the next Tuesday? These guys or
Was that your date night, possibly? Yeah.
you guys are using it, right? Yeah, we're having our meeting at one of the banks.
What do you got going on in Flint Hall?
Steak night.
Steak night?
Would be nice night. Still, next week should be nice.
Yeah.
Big enough.
Steak